My little duplicants have been surviving off of this one little electric grill for so many cycles now, and Pancake King has told me that they must upgrade the kitchen or they're going to quit. So today we're going to make a grand kitchen for my duplicants right over here. And yes, I think this is a good location because it's right next to my critter muncher and my hatchery. So all of the extra critters over here and the ones that we don't need anymore turn right into food. Boom, right there. So to build a fine kitchen, there's a couple of things that we need. All right, so to build a fine kitchen, there's a couple of things that we need to have. One, we obviously need to have an electric grill, but more importantly, we're going to need to have one of these gas ranges over here. That will allow us to make really nice recipes. All right, so let's start off by clearing out the area. We're just going to deconstruct all of these buildings, get rid of this micro musher that I don't think I ever used. Maybe I used it once. And we don't need these disgusting mesh tiles. Gross. Why would we ever use that? So there's a couple of strategies when it comes to a grill. One, I'm using a drop system here where we just open up the door at the end of the cycle using a little clock sensor right there, and that drops it into a pit. It's really useful for dropping food into a pit of carbon dioxide or chlorine in order to keep it nice and clean and sterile. The other way is we can use automation such as the auto sweeper. So that is this guy right here, and there is space for that right up there if we wanted to pick up the material and actually deliver it somewhere else. That's actually pretty useful because you don't necessarily know where you're going to be eating that food, whether it's up here or, you know, you might end up making the Great Hall somewhere else, because I do have plans to remove a lot of this equipment. But we can always replace doors, so let's go ahead and start with those. And these will be made of gold amalgam. And then the electric grill, again, gold amalgam. Not that it has to be gold amalgam. There's really no reason for it besides the fact that gold sounds cool. Okay, so I was going to put the electric grill right here and the gas range right next to it, but you know what? There's just not enough room for fanciness there. So we're gonna fancy it up a little bit. Gone are the mechanized airlocks. Those are lame. And then comes the diamond floor tiles. Ooh, yes. We can actually do plastic floor tiles right down here. That would be a good choice. And then we could do a little bit of an airflow tile right there, and we'll run that airflow right in past one of these carbon skimmers. The reason we're doing that is because when we go to make this gas range, it actually puts out a lot of carbon dioxide. Ugh. So we want to scrub that away if possible. Now, of course, since we have a little bit of carbon dioxide that we need to deal with, we need a water sieve. I thought about using oxyferns, but I don't really want to use those. I mean, the problem with oxyferns is that they're actually negative decor, and I can't have that. We also need some sort of form of symmetry here. A little bit of airflow right there. And then a little bit over there. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and put the water sieve, let's say right over here. I think that's a good spot to go. So that goes in right there. And then over here on the right, we're going to have the carbon skimmer. Boom. Perfect. All right, so we can control the carbon dioxide that's coming off of the gas range. That's good. But one of the other things we want to do here is maybe a large sculpting block. I think that would be nice. Oh yes, and a salt lamp. We definitely need a salt lamp. Not only does the salt lamp kind of look cool, a well-lit area will actually allow us to cook a little bit faster. It's always good to see what you're doing. So we'll slap down the electric grill right up here. We'll make it right in line with that one. And we'll go with the salt lamp theme again. Yeah, I like that. Now, the electric grill is a little less fancy, so I'm just going to go with the fake plant over here. But it'll still be fancy. Pancake King, you're doing the art? Wait. That's Meep's job. No. Don't do that. There we go. Good job, Meep. I know, she just wanted to decorate her own space here. Meep, you built it backwards, dude. Every time. I even rotated it. Okay, so we've got a good start here, but I think we can throw in a little bit more here. How about one of these fancy little plants? Those are always nice. Oh, you know what? Even better. Instead of the salt lamp, we can get rid of the salt lamp. We don't need that. We've got some other furniture down here. I think we definitely need a clock, just to make sure that we have an idea of what time it is and how long we've been cooking. And you might want to sit around and wait a little bit. So I think we'll throw down a little chair right there. Bam! There we go. Changing it up just a little bit. Cover the wall with a really nice landscape painting. There we go. Very nice. But we still do need a light in here, so we can go ahead and use one that we already have. I really do like the sapphire light. We can go ahead and throw that one right up there. That is extra fancy. I think it'll look really cool too. There we go. Let's dig that up. See, now this is where I'd like to put a little bit of a buddy bud, just to fill it with floral scents in here. But I suppose food gives off its own nice little scent, so we can go ahead and throw something else in there. How about a myrtle leaf? There we go. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing here is I'm just leaving the door open and just letting the critters over here, once they actually turn into an adult, they'll hop on over here and head into this area. So if I don't have a spot for them already, like all of my ranches are full, then they'll just kind of head on over here and turn into meat. So you can see how that little hatch decided, hey, I'm going to head on over here. And okay, so focusing back on the kitchen over here, let's go ahead and try this furniture. Wallpaper. And what I want to have is some really nice background stuff. So I think we're going to go ahead and go with the diamond. Ooh, that'll look nice. Okay, so I've changed my mind a little bit. I'm going to go with the doors down here in order to just drop the food in at the end of the cycle. Right down here is a great spot to kind of store a little bit of carbon dioxide. So I think I'll just go with that. If I want to add any sort of shipping and whatnot in there, there's plenty of room to do so right here. And then I think I'll just get rid of this equipment inside of here because I don't think I need that. I've already got equipment down at the bottom of my base that's in place to take care of the carbon dioxide down here. So that would be this guy eventually once it's no longer flooded. All I have to do is get rid of that pipe. Let's just do that right now. But this down here is designed to take care of any of my carbon dioxide that actually finds its way to the bottom of the base. Not only that, we also have oxiferns down here, and those will let off oxygen. So it's really not that far from the gas range to where it would be down here. So I don't think I need another piece of equipment in this base. So I'll get rid of that. Oh, you know what would be better than a chair? A large marble block. Boom! There we go. Have fun with that, Meep. Right down here, we're making some plastic ladders because, again, extra fancy. Bam! There you go, Meep. All right, let's check this out. What do you got there, Meep? Oh, yes! Except for it's facing the wrong way, Meep. Deconstruct it. We'll flip it. There we go. Haha! Okay, so the one thing about the gas range is that it requires natural gas in order to run. So we gotta find a spot where we have some natural gas here. We should have some right over here. Every once in a while, I should say. So there we go. I'll actually pull some natural gas out of this whenever that actually goes to run. So that should be a good start for the amount of natural gas I need. Although I think it'll take even more than that, especially if I'm cooking a whole lot. But the only other location where I have natural gas is right down here. And there I have hundreds of kilograms of it. So, but that's a long ways away. I don't really want to pipe gas from down here all the way up here. But if I have to, then I will. Good luck, dupes. You got a lot of pipe to build. Again. Oh, there we go, Meep. I like it. The disapproving griffin looking straight at your electric grill. All right, so there we go. Now we're talking. I had this issue over here where the petroleum generators were actually powered down and the oil refinery was not able to run. It would actually make a lot of sense here if I were to hook this up onto an automation signal so that the oil refinery would continue to operate, even if the power was out. Matter of fact, that thing is overheating. So where did I make that out of? Gold amalgam. That's probably not a good choice. Temperatures over here are just extremely hot, are they not? Yeah, look at this. This stuff's hot, 106 degrees. I'm going to have to be more aggressive with my cooling in this biome over here. I did try to put a little bit of temperature shift plates in this area, but you know what? A lot of the gas down here is carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is just terrible. I'm really interested why Ren cannot move. Oh, that's why. That's why Ren's stuck over here. Aha! Some sand fell down. Ren actually got stuck, and that's because the sand fell down right here. Whoops. Things you gotta be careful of. Let's see if we can free that up real quick. I'm gonna make that oil refinery out of steel. I think that'll be a good choice. You can see the water down here. Ooh, that is some hot water. Okay, so you can see I have 3,000 steel on hand. That's actually from the steel refining process over there. So I should see that I always build up to 3,000 steel. We have 2,000 there, 1,000 there. So that's what's happening. You can also see that this thing is running, so that's awesome. I think it's still trying to cool down this biome over here on the left. You can actually see that it's doing a pretty good job. We're down to 27 degrees in some spots, but other spots are still quite hot. So this thing's working really, really hard to try to cool down this biome right here. Matter of fact, I have two things that are really working really hard to keep the biomes cool. One of them's right up here, obviously because this hot polluted oxygen vent continues to run, plus the base over here, that's taking in a lot of power. And the temperatures, because of that, well, we're trying to keep this cool. We're trying to cool down this. And right now, this over here is just becoming a little bit too hot, so I probably have to do something about that. Now, when we take a look at the water here, the oil that comes out of that oil well is going to be at least 90 degrees Celsius. Whew. So that's hot. The petroleum generator here has a minimum temperature of 40 degrees Celsius, so we're well above that already. Yeah, I'm a little worried that I'm going to turn all of that into steam. One thing I did adjust from the last video to this video is that I'm only turning on these petroleum generators if I get down to 10% battery load. So depending on what I'm running here, if I'm running this steam turbine, it runs at like 60%. I'm running the natural gas, maybe a little bit higher than that. Let's say maybe I just run at 70, because this is kind of a unlimited resource, but it's only, you know, every so often whenever this natural gas runs sort of thing. So I want to use up the available resources first before I go and use my limited resources, such as like the thermal energy down here. And I definitely unload this as much as possible, so that's set up to like 80% right there. So you can kind of control at what point generators turn on. So what I'm setting up down here is just another power generation system, and this is going to be for coal. This is just a backup in case I have to turn certain things off and get things back online. So that'll pretty much be set up to be like at 1% in case we draw down all the power. And then at that point, I'm going to revert back to coal power. This would help if I would actually select lead or something like that. So we can tune up the natural gas generator, and that way it'll produce more power than 800 watts. That'll be 1200. So the more that this runs, the less heat I have to deal with in other areas. So that's good. So you can see that liquid is already very, very busy over here. Another option I have is gas. It's less busy. I could create a gas loop that allows me to run gas from like a cool spot down here wherever I have the output for my cool slush geyser going. And I could just create a radiated pipe that goes from one spot to the other. If that's running something like hydrogen gas inside of it, it can actually convey a decent amount of energy from one biome to the other. There we go. As we run a little bit of steel, ooh, that should make some more power up here. That'll be good. Duckless, no! No, don't mess with the poke shells, dude. I know you're new here. They can get very angry. Be careful, dude. All right, here's a vole pup. That looks delicious. Let's turn it into barbecue. You get so much out of a vole pup, it's ridiculous. Hey there, poke shell. How in the world did you make it inside of here? Did you? You came in here just to mess up my machine because you don't you don't actually drown underneath this stuff. Could you hop out, please? Thank you. Silly poke shell. No, don't go back in there. Okay, so you can see right down here, we've already built up a nice area of carbon dioxide so that as we cook things up, boom, they'll just drop right down here. And then they will be in a sterile environment, therefore the food will not go bad. Nice. And then anything that's, you know, oxygen or whatever, it'll just kind of flow out over here. And if we have extra carbon dioxide, well, it'll just flow out over here and then find its way down here to the bottom. Even though that is still flooded, despite it having only a dribble of water on top of it. Hopefully these duplicants can fix that problem. Too many pips. That's right, we'll deliver a pip over here. And I think inside of this room, yes, we have a pinch of pepper seed. So my hope is that that pip will go ahead and plant right here. So we can have yet another pinch of pepper plant. All right, Ren, tune up this machine. Right now we're at 800 watts. You can see that we aren't producing enough power for the base because we're currently at 0% in these smart batteries. Everything is still running. I mean, we're still able to power stuff, but the bigger equipment that runs off of this grid is not running consistently. But when we crank this up, you'll see it goes from 800 watts, it should go up to 1200. Boom! There we go. You tell me that's not enough power. You're saying we need more power? We need more power. All right, well, it seems like my kitchen's doing pretty good. I mean, everything's kind of set up here, and we have an electric grill. We have a gas range. Although it sure seems like we're running this electric grill over the other one. So let's go ahead and just move that down here so that we no longer run this one. Just go ahead and set that to a priority level 1. Just kind of get away from it. No, Pancake King, you're still cooking on that grill. Old habits die hard. Come on now. And would somebody move these pips already? Oh, they're all over my base. Nope. Matter of fact, I can go ahead and put a refrigerator right down here. And this is where we can store ingredients. And we can also have another one down here for finished product as well, if that's what we wanted to. And if you wanted to be real fancy about it, if you detected some other type of gas, you could then turn these refrigerators on, just in case, to kind of protect your food. There's a lot of stuff you could do, but as we can see, we are now cooking down here. This is perfect. We have a nice little lit environment as well. And I guess that is a bad choice to put a storage bin right there. These pips just keep knocking the eggs out. Stop it! All right, I give up. No more. I guess I'll just have to move that down here. And then I can store a few eggs down here, and those are the ones that'll turn into omelets. Otherwise, I don't think that's worth it. Now, in a previous video, I had mentioned this idea of whether or not you wanted to cook into an omelet or barbecue, because you might get more calories out of one or the other, and also the morale bonus. Now, this actually prompted a lot of different responses. However, as I looked into these responses, a lot of them had different numbers, and that's because a lot of the databases I was looking at were all out of date, even the wiki, although the wiki should be updated now. The other day, I went through all of these numbers here. I basically tested all the little critters right here and actually measured just how much meat we were getting out of it. You can see that's 1,600 from a pip there. And so one of the questions was, do you get the same amount of meat out of a baby critter as an adult? And the answer is yes. But the other thing here is, depending on what critter you're working with, you may want to go with barbecue or omelets. So in the form of pips right here, you get less calories in the form of barbecues than you do in omelets. So let's just run through this chart real quick. For pips, you get 2,000 calories in the form of barbecue, which is currently what I'm making. If we were to make omelets, we get 2,800. So that's a little bit of a bump right there. The big food producers are going to be hatches, slicksters, and drecos. All of those will give you 4,000 calories per critter in the form of barbecue, or 2,800 in the form of an omelet. Puffs are not good for food at all. You can only get 2,000 in the form of barbecue, or very, very little in the form of an omelet. But the really big win is if you can start to ranch shovels right down here. For each critter that would expire, it gives you 20,000 calories in the form of barbecue right there. That's because they drop 16,000 calories worth of meat, which is absolutely huge. And they are right next to gassy moves, but good luck actually ranching those. Another great critter to farm in the form of omelets is going to be pacu, because pacus in the form of omelets give you 5,600 calories per egg. And they can produce those eggs very, very quickly. So that is usually your best source of food. If you can actually ranch fish, boom. Man, do they create a lot of food for you. And there is some techniques of how we can actually ranch fish efficiently so that we don't end up consuming all of our algae very, very fast. Although of all of these critters, the pip is definitely the cheapest form of food because obviously it just eats a tree, which doesn't require any input at all. It just sits there in the wild, so it's free food. The thing is, it's not quite as beneficial as going to something like a hatch, which I at least have some hatches down here. You guys were asking for more pips. Well, here we have it. There's another pipsqueak. So because of this, the best thing that I can do right down here is ranch up my little poopers, because those are going to give me my best bang for the buck as far as a critter that's actually going to consume something. They also give me coal, which is beneficial in the form of power. So if I'm going to set anything up inside of the incubator that I actually want to run, it's probably going to be a hatch because I want that to turn into a barbecue. Pips, for the most part, we can just run on an egg cracker if I just want to generate calories. Although I do like the higher quality food, so we run them into here every once in a while. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the pip eggs right down here, and I'm going to store a good 20 of these on hand in that area so that they continue to crack over time and turn into omelets. That way I can get a little bit more food out of them. So while this chart here does tell you something, it doesn't fully solve the big question of how many calories per cycle are you getting on average, because that really has to do with how happy the critter is, whether it's tame or whether it's wild, what their reproduction percentages. There's a lot that goes into it, and how many dupes you have and how many critters you have. So it's a complex question, but essentially we're looking in the ballpark range of around 300 to 400 calories per cycle. You can get a little bit above that if you are actually doing it 100% efficient and making omelets, at least in the form of pips. But you basically have to figure out the reproduction cycle for the critters, so you have to look into however many their change per cycle is. So you can see this guy right here, unfortunately it's not currently buffed, so therefore it isn't being boosted. But this one is, so therefore it's going to actually generate more food per cycle. So long story short, it's kind of a complicated thing. Hey, what in the world? How did a pip get down here? Are you kidding me? No, stop! Stop! How did you get in here? You can't get through the pneumatic doors. Bad pip. We're instantly turning you into barbecue. Blech. Take that. Alright, so I'm going to store raw ingredients right here, just in meat. And in this case, I'm going to do a little bit of barbecue and omelets. So we'll move it from this location right down here, even though that's actually a pretty good location because it's right next to where we eat. So maybe I'll just leave that there. That's actually a pretty good spot, but we don't need this up here anymore. That's all gone. This is all outdated. We could just remove that. And we don't need that egg cracker. We could just get rid of that one as well. Woo, a little bit of burpee. There we go. cleaned up. Let's just sweep it and we're all good. And does anybody want to let this puffed out? Oh gosh, what do we have in there? We also have a pip in there too? All right, let's open that up. Okay, so I've avoided it for a long time here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start using this cool slush geyser for its cooling capabilities here. I kind of felt like the cool slush geyser is a little bit of a crutch, but then again, if we take a look at this map and just see just how hot it is, maybe there's a good reason that we have a cool slush geyser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let this kind of build up into a puddle down here. We can actually pump some of that liquid out, but most importantly, I'm going to use this as a heat sink so that I can actually take out some of the heat from here and pump it into the water sort of thing. And I could do the same thing down here because, you know, this thing obviously it gets hot over time. And right now I'm just like creating this nasty little waterfall to go down here just to try to keep it cool. So let's go ahead and set up something that's a little bit better. Okay, so what I want to do here is just create a nice big pool of water. Now I'm going to go ahead and use obsidian because obsidian can actually contain quite a bit of pressure. Again, this is another one of those things that I did a video on a while back. And I don't think we're really going to run any risk of blowing up this container because the column of water is not very tall. That's mostly how water breaks unless you are compressing it beyond its one tile capacity, which is essentially, again, how it breaks in the first place. Because as you build up water, you can see that there's going to be a little bit more there at the bottom, 1,009 kilograms, but as you move up, you can see it's 99.9. So that bottom tile is one that really dissolves the destroying of tiles. When you have an accident and you start to break those tiles, that's what's happening. Again, I did kind of a video on that thing, so if you're curious about it, you can check it out up here. I don't really know how updated it is compared to what we have now, but for the most part, it hasn't really ever been an issue for me. Other tiles that can contain humongous amounts of pressure are like airflow tiles. Those are pretty much impervious to damage. Same with metal tiles, you can't really break those. The other stuff, again, they can contain quite a bit of pressure, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use a little bit of an automation signal. So more or less, that's just going to control just how much water flows into this area. If we ever go above this level right here and we start to end up in a situation where we're pressurizing this entire spot, we don't want that to happen. So that's where I'm going to shut this door off, which will contain all of the liquid over here so we don't bring more in. So a little bit of automation just to kind of make that a little bit sweeter. No, Kenzilla, no. Run back inside of here, please. I had to disable this checkpoint for just a moment here to build up this tile, so I have a bunch of dupes that are out of their suits right now. And Kenzilla, of course, is catching fire. Woo! Both of them nearly caught fire. Ducklaws. At least we got our daily dose of fried duplicant. Ooh! I like the Pacos. Welcome. Hey man, the water's to the right. Check it out. Come on, you can do it. Figure it out, little. Oh yeah, there they go. Come on, you can do it. They'll start swimming eventually. There should be enough water in there. Ha! Perfect. Okay, somebody murderized these hatches. There's too many of them. Catalina, no, buddy. No. Get out of there. These poke shells don't want you here. Don't. You get out of there. Don't go back in. Don't go back in, Catalina. They're not worth it. Horrible beasts. No. Jeez. Don't even let them go through here. How did you manage to go through there, Catalina? I specifically disabled this door. Oh my gosh, you're going to get yourself killed. Why? How are my critters? Dupes, what are you doing in here? Oh, that's right. They can go through a vertical tile like this, even if the access is set like that. Oh, that's right. How about you just sweep it up then? And why is this the spot you guys want to hang out? Like, of all the horrible spots you guys could pick. What in the world? All right, so I'm working some pipe spaghetti here, and the hopes is that I can go ahead and bring in the cooling lines right over here, and then take the natural gas out there, let the oxygen in there. You get the idea. There's a lot of spaghetti going on. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So the main idea is that we're going to have the radiant pipe go right through here, and that should hopefully cool the gas in that area, and then the exchanger is right over here. So we can actually plug in quite a few exchangers to this if we wanted to. And then we just have a really fun gas pipe doing this number. Whee! Just like that. Now if I find that the gas is not cooling down fast enough over here, I can go ahead and make that loop. larger, but I don't think I will need to. It is liquid, so it should be really good at conducting that heat. We'll see. All right, so there we go. Now I have 2 cooling lines. So one is running to the steam turbine down here, and the other one is going to be running to this equipment over here on the right. So once I get some hydrogen, we can go ahead and throw that in there. Boom, that'll take care of the problem. If we look back at the Dreco Ranch down here, we can see that we are up to 4 pinch of pepper plants. So that's good. I just need to go ahead and get rid of that one ladder right there, and we should have another egg right down there. Boom, that we can put right inside of here. So I've hooked up a couple of these little incubators here so that my dupes will go around and put their little buff on them, so just like that. So the ones I'm running right now is the stone hatch and the hatchling, but I'm also going to turn on the glossy Dreco as well, just because they're really good for food. Ah, that's what's happening. The pinch row eggs are ending up right here, so let's go ahead and make sure I slap a few of those down here. All right, Pips, I'm tired of you all hanging out in the food spot. Come on, get out of here. That puff just did not want to get out of that mechanized airlock. Problem solved. Man, that is another lucky Pip. Somehow you missed all of that. Where were you hiding? You know what? I could really just ship everything in here, couldn't I? Just say all of it. Eggshells, you name it. It's all just gonna end up right over here anyhow. Or maybe not. Where are you going? Oh no! Crap, I forgot that I had the chute over here. No, get rid of it. There must be a ton of eggs. Oh my gosh, there's a ton of stuff in that spot. Whoops, my bad. Yes, there we go, that's much better. Okay, so one of the other projects I wanted to do over here besides just refining all of the metal is I wanted to also refine a lot of the lumber into ethanol. Now currently I'm doing this in my main base, but I'd like to actually just export all of that production right down over here. So because I have lots of steel, I'm going to go ahead and make this out of steel, but the idea is that I can go ahead and take auto sweepers right over here, deliver the lumber via a shipping rail, and load all of this up. That way I have ethanol on hand that I can actually send back over here and potentially feed one of these petroleum generators. As it turns out, we could pretty much feed one of these with petroleum over here like this, but we can also feed the other one with ethanol or something like that. I don't know, we'll see. So what I plan to do here is take this ethanol right there and run it up through this pipe, which is the lowest one of the 3 that run between the 2 bases, and that one will then run, boom, right inside of there to run that petroleum generator. All right, so my dupes continue to make progress here. We can see that the cool slush geyser is starting to activate again, so that's good. At least we have some nice cool water that's now available. I just have to get some gas inside of here and I can start to cool down this biome over here. It is currently cooking itself to death. Unfortunately, the water inside of here got a little bit too hot, and once again, it started to break coming out of the water sieve. A pain in the butt. So, yet again, I'll have to go down here and try to mop things up, which isn't even going to happen. So, what do I want to do? Okay, so it seems like this is my most urgent fix that I need to put into place, so that's probably what I'm going to cover here next time. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this little episode here of Oxygen Not Included. Thanks for watching. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe considering that subscribe button. Have a great day, guys. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.